Andrea and I agree on so many things that we often joke we share a brain, but there is one thing that I think I've got some beef with her over. Recently, she's been slandering squares. And I get why she likes circles, but her square slander has gotten out of control. And she recently even said she was going to give squares a chance, but in her square redemption painting, there was not a single square. So after I saw that video this weekend, my power was actually off all day, and I had nothing better to do than fill multiple pages in my sketchbook with squares. So I want us to do a fun and easy sketchbook exercise where we're going to just celebrate squares, because I think I'm definitely team square. Either that or I just think it's kind of funny. Grab your watercolors and give them a good spritz. I'm personally not a precise person. If you are, you might want to actually measure this out so that you get perfect squares. Mine are going to be basically squares, so feel free to measure them or not. For this painting, I want you to pick 3 colors. And I want you to start by filling your brush with a lot of water in one of those colors. And I want you to paint your first square. Then wash your brush, fill it with that water, as well as the second color you're going to use. And you're going to make a square directly beside the first square. If you want them to stay separate, don't let them touch. I wanted mine to kind of bleed in together just a little bit, so in one area I allowed my brush to just touch the other square so it just slightly bled in. And then again, wash your brush off, and we're going to switch to our third color. Repeat the same thing. Then I want you to go to the next row, and using the second color you used, you're going to paint the first square in that row. For that middle square, you're going to use the third color you used. And then the third square, you're going to use your very first color. My goal here is to create these kind of diagonal stripes of these colors using the squares. You're going to repeat that all the way down to the bottom. Now, there is a chance that I have such an affinity for squares because I love patterns. Oftentimes when I'm traveling, one of the things I am most drawn to is tile work, and often you see squares represented in that. And as a matter of fact, I would love this as a backsplash. Now, I personally like this as it is. I'm probably just going to write something silly down here like justice for squares, but if yours doesn't feel like it's done, you could always use these as jumping off points to make little doodles in each one of them. Either way, it's a ton of fun to paint, and it's really low pressure, especially if you're team square.